Hello everyone! Today I'm building a farm and sanctuary. Well, it's more like a barn with a small section of crops. I couldn't really build what I had in mind for the farm because of this damn slope over here, this hill. And I tried looking for a few different spots to build this, but right here was the best place. I mean, I intended on building it here from the beginning because it's in the middle of the settlement and surrounded by government buildings, which makes sense for, where part of the food comes from, right? You want it to be protected. So just keep in mind that I wanted this to be a lot bigger, but regardless, it still comes out pretty cool. Alright, for the barn, I'm going to be using barn pieces. Shocking! Didn't see that one coming. So these come from the Far Harbor DLC, and I think I only use a couple of mod pieces for the barn structure, which I'll point out when they come up. So it's 2 floor pieces wide and then 3 deep. Yeah, is that the right terminology? And I have one off to the side, which I'll explain when we get there. But first, I'm going to build the walls. Now this part is pretty easy. Actually, the whole thing is pretty easy, which I say in like every video. But this really is. It's not that bad. I could have built this and explained how I built it like I did in my last video, but I had several people say that they liked seeing me build the structure better. So here it is. Here it is. It's me. I'm building it. And I don't really have anything to explain for this part, so I'm just going to be talking. And that's normally how I do things. Like, I get some people saying that my videos are too fast, which some of my old videos, yeah, they were pretty fast. But the first few builds I did were like 30 to 40 minutes long, and my watch time was very low because people didn't really want to watch me build walls for that long, which checks out. But then I overcorrected and made them too fast. But now I feel like I found that happy middle ground. And oh, right here, this is where I use mods. I use these unpainted barn walls for the inside walls. You can get these from Workshop Rearranged and USO. But if you're not using mods, the barn pieces will work all the same. I just like the unpainted for the inside. But yeah, I speed up parts of the video that I think are pretty easy, like this part where I'm just placing down objects and I'm not doing anything special. And I've started to slow down on parts where I am explaining certain techniques that I'm using to make it easier to follow. I feel like that works the best because I'm able to show you everything while keeping the video linked down. And this isn't rambling, by the way. I refuse to ramble in my videos. So many people do it and it just drives me up the wall. This is just me expanding on some comments, right, that I get from you guys, which I might start doing some Q&A videos where I answer questions from a particular build video. So let me know what you guys think of that idea. Alright, so enough of that. Off to the side here, I wanted to build some pins. Or wait, no, is it stables? Well, no, it's not stables because it's for Brahmin, right? Brahmin, I don't know. I wasn't born on a farm, all right? It's where they come to eat and chill and let me pet them and say, who's a good boy? Who's a good Brahmin? So yeah, I placed down that floor off to the side so I could snap half walls to it like you just saw, and I wanted all the pins to have a floor like that, but since I'm on this hill, it didn't really work out. So I just snapped in the rest of the walls even though the pins are a little uneven. And once everything is decorated, it actually looks pretty cool. I honestly did not like the way this build was going until I started decorating, so the decorations really make it work. But I close off the last pin because I built a greenhouse back there, which you'll see in just a second. And here is where I use another mod. It's a railing that we get from Workshop Rearranged. I'm snapping one to the floor and one to the ceiling to close off the pin, but still open to where we can interact with the Brahmin. Like if I would have had half walls right there, they would have been too tall for the Brahmin's heads to where they couldn't reach over it, so these railings help out a lot. And if you're building this without mods or don't have access to Workshop Rearranged, you can use any other kind of railings to the floor and then leave the top part open, and it would still give you that same kind of look. Alright, so we're on the other side of the barn, and I'm snapping in a floor and a wall temporarily, just to snap in a roof to where it's the same height as the one on the other side. Like, I wanted both sides to match, but the pins would have looked stupid over here because of the slope. It's not level. I would have had to use another barn foundation off to the side instead of a floor piece, and then a ramp leading up to it, and it just, it just wouldn't have looked right. So instead, I'm doing the same kind of roof, but putting a wall on the back and then placing in some posts to where it looks pretty open. I know I keep complaining about it, but the structure is actually pretty close to how I pictured it. I wanted something about this size, maybe a little bit bigger, pins on both sides, a living area up top, and a greenhouse in the back. So it's pretty close, I just had to condense it a little bit. But alright, the last part is the greenhouse, and it's really just a couple of walls. I'm placing in a greenhouse doorway right here, and for the back, Since we're on a slope, I keep bringing that up because I keep having to make little tweaks to get these parts to work. So originally, I would have snapped this greenhouse roof to the bottom of the wall, like how it keeps wanting to do right here, but I'm going to use place anywhere to get it right below the window in order to snap in the back doorway high enough to where I can walk through it. If I would have snapped the roof to the bottom of the wall and then placed in the doorway, it would have been sunken too far into the ground to where I couldn't walk through it. So I had to make that little adjustment. But that's pretty much it for the build. Definitely stick around for the tour. As I mentioned earlier, the decorations really bring this place together. And I built a couple of sheds in the back corners, which you'll see, they're really easy to build. It's just one floor piece and then walls and a roof. So yeah, pretty easy. But let me know what you guys think about that Q&A video idea. I was thinking it would be cool to post a build and then a few days later post a Q&A video about that build. So like if I went too fast on one part, didn't really explain something well enough, or questions about mods or decorations, stuff like that, I could go over in more detail. So yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching up to this point. Now here's the tour. Alright, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Check out this next video, which YouTube suggested solely for you, which is pretty cool. And if you enjoyed this build, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.